Hello.
Hello.
Can anyone of the participant let us know that are we audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello. Wing Commander Kanav sir, are you there? Anyone from DAD?
Yeah, I'm there. Gurpreet Thakur, I'm here. I can hear
Hi
listen.
sir. Hi sir. Hi
Yeah,
Thakur sir.
Gurpreet Kanna is also joining. Just 30 seconds.
Okay sir. Okay.
Just 30 seconds joining.
Okay,
Hi,
sir.
good afternoon, Anurag. Hi, Anurag, Group Captain
So
Kanav
this
here.
hi sir. This side Karan sir.
I'm available. Okay,
Okay
hi
sir.
Karan,
Okay.
from DAD.
Okay, sir. I request you if any nodal officer joins, sir, please let us know so that we can
Yes,
start.
we are. Okay, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Group Captain Kanav Bhartindu from Directorate of Aerospace Design. I welcome everyone who's present for this technical outreach session for DIS 13 challenges. The first problem statement which is there today is for IP-based gateway interface between different SDR networks. So this for this challenge, the nodal officer who's available with us is Wing Commander Samir Anand. So I hope all the people present in the room have gone over the problem statement which was dished out. Samir is available here. We can start with the question answers if any.
Hi, Samir. This is Sanjay from Amantia.
So please.
Hi, sir. So, for an existing IF SDR,
Hello.
the current interface is the
Hello.
IP interface. Hello.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Kanav, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, it is requested that if the nodal officer can briefly explain about the problem statement so that every innovator will understand that what is required. So after that, we will have a Q&A session, sir.
Copied, we'll proceed like that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. For everybody understanding, this problem statement defines that we need to develop a IP-based gateway solution or a gateway interface for bridging two different types of SDR, or we can say that two different types of SDR of different make, using different waveform, different frequency, different protocols, working on different protocols. So presently we have multiple types of SDR which were operating in Air Force, and we want to develop a IP-based gateway in which we can integrate both the SDRs together so that one SDR speaks to the other. So this is the basic requirement what we have. And these SDRs are being used on both airborne platforms and ground systems. This is the basic requirement. So one of the SDR, what we are majority of the systems with what we are using is using a BNet SDR, and this SDR will be part of that trial. We need to develop a this gateway solution or gateway interface with some other SDR which is developed by Indian industry. So there will be three components. One will be the SDR provided by IAF. One will be the SDR developed by any Indian industry, and a gateway interface hardware. That's all from my side. And if somebody has a query on that, we may proceed.
For the I, again,
Hello, sir. This is Kavita from Vistransh. I am the head of operations there. So I have few queries related to what you just explained. So is it okay to go ahead?
Yeah, please.
So as you mentioned that there will be different SDRs. So when you say SDR, does that mean like all their modulation, multiplexing, and and they operate, all of them operate at different frequencies, right? Or do we have a cluster of SDRs who are like adjointed or who are identical, and then we have to integrate with another cluster of SDRs?
Ma'am, issue is that every vendor will have a unique design of a particular SDR.
Right.
We will be having a different types of SDR for different types of aircraft and different
Okay.
types of ground platform. From every OEM, what we are getting, every OEM is giving us a new type of SDR
Okay.
based on his
Right.
understanding, based on his technology.
Right.
But the major issue what we are facing is the interoperability between two SDRs.
Right. Right.
So,
Mhm.
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Will you be able to share some parameters of your whatever like you have currently, various types of SDRs, just to analyze that if there's any commonality while like decide like designing this gateway or the IP like solution, if we can get some common parameters, or are they totally all the parameters will be different? At least we can define a range to
Yeah,
to
ma'am,
interact them.
see,
Yeah.
these SDRs are operating in the frequency range of VHF and UHF.
Okay. VHF
So you
and
can
UHF.
consider from 30 to 512 megahertz,
Okay, so all of them.
all of them.
So 30 to 500 megahertz. You say,
512
right?
megahertz, and there is
512. Okay.
operation on L band also.
Okay.
So
Operation on
if
L.
you approximately from 900 to 1200 megahertz.
900 to 1200 megahertz. Okay. Right, sir. Mm.
So this is the frequency range for these SDR which we operate for both our airborne platform and the ground platforms.
Right. And you want one gateway to cater to all your SDRs, right? That is the requirement, that one gateway.
We will start with only one type of IF SDR and one type of other SDR. The innovators should demonstrate us a solution which can integrate two SDRs of
Okay.
different name.
Of different types. Okay.
Yeah, or different types of two, only two, between
Only
two.
Only.
I'm not considering we should have 5 types of SDR in a single gateway. We are only considering starting with only two SDRs. Between two SDRs, there will be a gateway which has to be designed and developed by the innovator.
Okay.
One SDR will be provided by Air Force.
Okay.
One SDR we can take any of the Indian industry SDR.
Okay, so would you be able to share the parameters of the SDR that you will provide, like what parameters
Yeah.
currently it is working on? Will you be able to provide that?
Interface control document of the existing IF SDR can be shared by IF.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, sir, will you be able to share any contact details? We can email you, and if you can provide some insight of that document, at least just the basic snippets of those documents, which will help to design this gateway, like while writing the proposal.
Ma'am, all the requirements what you require, you can intimate to the DIO.
Okay.
And from there we can respond you.
Okay, so the DIO email ID, if maybe can be shared.
Ma'am, we
Akash?
will provide you, ma'am. I will type my email on chat box, and you can your queries and your whatever you help required, you can directly mail to me.
Right, sure. That would be helpful. Sir, just one last question. So when you say that these SDRs are placed like airborne and ground system as well, so where the gateway is like you will be placing, so will there be any physical barrier in interacting with both of them? Like two
Ma'am,
SDR, you are saying that needs to
ma'am,
be
starting,
integrated.
we should consider starting with the ground platform. So
Ground
we will
platform.
establish one gateway at the ground platform,
Okay, sir.
which is already connected to SDR.
Right. So right now
And
we,
this,
yeah, go ahead.
we are only considering starting with the ground.
Okay,
If
so right now
this
you want
thing
two
is successful,
SDRs, two different
because
SDRs on ground needs to be
ground,
integrated with via
yes,
one gateway. That is the requirement, right? For
that is
this
the basic
particular,
requirement. Yeah.
right? Okay, sir. Understood. Yeah.
Uh,
That's it, sir. Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you.
this Sanjay from
Hello.
Avantia.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have a few queries about the gateway challenge, sir.
Yes, yes, please go ahead with your query.
Okay, sir. At present, is there any solution which is working, which is connecting different SDRs?
No. As
Just
of
to
now,
get,
no, sir.
just to get a reference, like if there is some system already in
As
place.
of now, we have got only one kind of SDR, which is foreign made, and one is SDR which is Indian made. However, the
Okay.
accessibility of both are slightly limited in terms of their access to their internal app. So
Okay.
what I request is we don't have any reference implementation that you can study it as
Okay.
your engineering on this.
Sir, from the problem statement, what I understand is the interfaces or the communication protocol between SDRs is not a standard thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So every vendor has their own different specifications and different communication protocols. They work within their own brand of families, but with the other vendor, they are not compatible. We want to bring
What has happened is in SDR class of radios, we have got standards which the foreign firms have implemented over a period of time.
Okay.
So in America, we have a SCA standard, and Europe, you have a SR standard, EWSOR. So most of the firms of foreign origin will have either of these standards as their architecture. And regarding the interfaces, that depends on the hardware which is being used, but it is not dependent on the interfaces per se.
Okay, sir, for the IEF, which is the model which IEF is using right now, what interface is available there?
It is available. Both Ethernet is also available.
Okay.
1553 is also available.
Okay.
And what gateway interface we are requiring is on Ethernet,
Okay.
IP based.
Okay. Sir, any particular protocol that is running on the Ethernet layer? Because ultimately that is something that has to be decoded and worked on in a IP gateway.
Those informations are available and can be shared through DIO.
Okay.
Based on your requirement.
Okay, sir. Because while connecting two different SDRs, we will need to have complete information about the protocols that they are using on all the layers.
Yeah,
so
it is available. It is
minimum
available.
that okay. May I? How will I get those information, sir?
You have to write to DIO and will provide those informations.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. That's all from my side.
Yeah, hi. My name is Sanjeev Chaudhary. So I am also looking at some queries on this particular challenge. I had dropped a mail to idexdio@ddpmod.gov.in. I'm not sure if it has reached you. I have 5 queries. If you're able to hear me, should I proceed?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes. So the first one is regarding your para 2 and para 3 and 4, where you mentioned legacy voice and non-secure voice. Are both of these the same, or
Same.
legacy voice?
Same, sir.
Okay. Now, the point is, there are two types of waveforms that you would find in an SDR. One is to mimic the legacy AM/FM, that is A3, F3, with a voice band signal going in. That
Yes,
means your mic and this thing with a PTT, right? And then in digital implementation, you are doing F3, A3 and pushing it out on air. And on the other side also, you are getting an analog output that is a mic and a speaker, basically.
yes, sir. Yes,
So that's what you call legacy. Am I right?
yes,
Or
yes,
okay, okay, perfect. So the in the phase one, you have asked for phase one of trials. You have asked for that legacy waveform to be done, which
yeah,
means you want. Now there are twos. Let's talk about say two networks, one given by Rafael and one given by the Indian, or one given by one of the US guys, one given by the French guys. Okay.
yeah,
So now since they would be for this legacy waveform, they would be operating on two frequencies. Say one is operating on some 142 or whatever frequency, the other is close about 400. So what you require in the legacy waveform, because by definition they are already compatible to each other, that's why
yes,
my
yes,
question. So now you have one in a mission, you have a Rafael and the US Boeing going together. You need
yes,
them to speak to each other. So you need a bridge between these two frequencies through the
yes.
audio,
Audio lines. Yes,
and this is not Ethernet. So it's in addition to the IP gateway, you need a bridging which will take the mic out or the line out from one of the those mil standard connectors, and you want it relate to the other radio so that it can be transmitted in the Boeing frequency. Say the legacy one was transmitting, and you need to bridge the two frequencies on an analog domain. Am I right?
sir. Sir, these voice packets are also available on Ethernet. Like two SDRs can share these voice packets to Ethernet also, if they are
See,
operating on
over
different
Ethernet.
frequencies. Different.
Okay, so again, so that's what I was saying. So on Ethernet, what I can do is from the handset, next comes the vocoder, right? So it becomes a
Yeah,
VoIP
yeah,
packet. It's a voice over internet protocol packet, like what we have on our desktops, जो IP phones होते हैं, वैसे
yes,
type.
yes,
So
yes,
it gets
yes,
converted into VoIP, then goes to the SDR,
yes,
and the SDR
yes,
then uses whatever MELP or जो भी होगा, and then pushes it out on a digital SDR based waveform. So is that legacy or
yes.
is our analog wala legacy?
So this analog and what we call it, because we also have a SDR of the same SDR. There are two LRUs, and both are connected to through Ethernet. There's no physical connection of connection between the audio lines. They are connected through Ethernet only.
Okay, so
And
your audio
also,
lines are on Ethernet, which is going
yes,
through a switch to the
yes,
SDR. मतलब हमारा SDR के ऊपर there is no analog ports we are talking about here. We are talking about
yes,
सीधा Ethernet. That means VoIP
on
packets are
Ethernet.
going. Okay,
Yes, yes,
can you again the query here would be VoIP packet में what sort of okay, you just need relaying. So I need to know the packet structure, whatever is being
yes,
used
yes,
there, and
yes,
relay it there.
yes,
Okay, okay. So that answers one question. Now, in the para 5, you have talked about data and voice reception endpoints would be given. Now,
yeah,
okay, so these endpoints are purely Ethernet. Okay, answered
yes,
already. Now, third thing is, uh, now you have talked about that the IP gateway would be on a air platform as well as it would be on the ground station. That
yeah,
is understood.
yeah,
Now, normally, the way I conceptualize it is that you have a fighter, say two fighter aircrafts, right? You do not have
yeah,
space to put another SDR, another set of antennas, it will become a mess. So you
yes,
would always have a AEW&C platform also around where you can
yes,
fit both the types of SDR, where you can bridge it for the
yes,
VUHF, for the line of sight
yes,
communication.
yes,
Whereas आपको अगर ground segment में जाना है, then you need to use the SATCOM of the AEW&C and relay it to the ground station. और वहां से जो करना है करना है. Similar
so
route would be
yes,
followed.
yes,
Can the fighters directly talk over SATCOM to ground station? Is that feasible?
yes,
Or
yes,
उसमें
it is
AEW&C
also feasible,
अच्छा, that is also feasible.
feasible.
Okay,
We
so
have
then
a
the IP gateway needs to reside on the fighters, AWNC as well as the grounds. मतलब हर एक
ground.
platform के लिए है ये.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
with this gateway, we with this gateway is a this gateway will provide a physical connection between two SDRs.
Right, understood.
Okay.
Two or
So considering that this gateway solution will go on a particular aircraft like say Su-30 operating on a particular SDR,
Correct.
that is not required. See, Su-30 is flying with one SDR-A.
Correct.
And same type of SDR-A I have on a ground station.
Correct.
And
if they are on line of sight, so VHF
line
or
of sight,
L-band will do that. Sorry,
yes.
go ahead. Sorry, my mistake. Please go ahead.
Yeah. And at the ground station, I will have two types of SDR, SDR-A and SDR-B through a gateway interface connected to each other. This SDR-B can now speak to a MiG-29 which is flying with SDR-B.
Understood.
So now
So it would cover a SATCOM link because your aircrafts are on a mission. On a mission. Ground की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ या near the ground station की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. On a mission, the only way those aircrafts can speak to the ground station and the relay happens is through SATCOM. So that much amount of latency.
SATCOM is not necessary if you are within the range of a particular ground station, which is almost a radio. If you take a radio range of 180 nautical miles, mean 350 kilometers, I am connected to the ground station, which has the same SDR.
नहीं वो तो HF पे होगा ना 350 kilometers or so.
VHF. We are
for simplicity purpose, please keep the SATCOM out of this loop. It is not required. Okay, you just concentrate on whatever you just said, AWC platform and a ground SDR on a airport SDR. That's it. There is no SATCOM link available as of now.
Okay, understood. That clarifies quite a bit. Okay, so now since we are talking about air platforms, within the parameters of the project that you are giving now, do we have all the Semilac certification, airworthiness, I mean for hardware DO160, DO178, ये सब भी इसी के part होगा or that will be catered later? As of now, we should only cater for the ground station and prove it on the ground. ऐसे है क्या?
So starting with ground station only.
Okay, so no certifications.
Yeah.
Okay, then that brings me to the last question. So is there any MOQ that you would assure? Because since it is a IDEX based, so 50% has to be put by the innovator and 50% can be funded through Spark. So is a MOQ, if say the innovator succeeds, now only for the ground station, can you give us a MOQ, assured MOQ, and later on if you need these things to be replicated for your air units, then a production order, is that something you foresee?
Sir, as we go along the process of D&D, so next process, as we are aware, will be the high part selection committee post the proposals are received from various startups and industry. So the MOQ will be shared with those startups with whom IF undergoes D&D contract. So prior to commencement of D&D, the MOQ will be shared with those respective startups which are proceeding for the subsequent stage of D&D. So yes, your question is right that there will be a cost involved and that has to be amortized over MOQ, and that will be foretold prior to commencement of D&D itself.
Understood. So if say innovator A is selected, that means before signing of the contract, you would also ensure that within that contract you have a MOQ mentioned.
Yes, the term is slightly different, just a difference of one letter. Now the term as per DAP is being called as minimum procurement quantity. It's just a little academic difference. That minimum procurement quantity is always told to the startup with whom the DIO enters into a design and development contract.
Understood. And if that happens, after that, there is a chance of production order for the air units because that is where the numbers lie.
So where do you like to have your certification from? How do you have any products, airworthy products?
No, we'll have to go through the process. As of now,
So
no.
let us
But we
keep
know
it simple for now. Let us keep it simple for now. Let us understand what do you have in ground and then you.
Perfect. My all questions are answered. For ground, we are fine. Balance will take it as it goes along. Thank you. I have finished.
So can you tell your firm name, sir?
I'm applying as an individual, but my registration is going on as a Smart System of Systems.
Copied, sir.
As of now, I'm applying as an individual.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from participants?
So this is Akash from Amantia.
So we have some queries related.
Yeah, Mr. Akash, can you tell your firm name?
So my firm's name is Amantia Technologies Private Limited.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. So my queries were also similar to the ones that were asked earlier. So all these queries, the requirements that we have, that we need to draft the proposal. So we'll share those on email to DIO, and we hope that we get the rewards there itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Akash, can you repeat what you're going to share to the DIO?
So the queries related to the protocols and the SDR details that we need to
Okay.
draft our proposal. So
Okay.
we'll share them on email, and
Okay.
that is what
Okay.
was discussed earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir. Again, Sanjeev here. I'll be forwarding to the email which is there in the chat box now, so that we can frame it properly.
Yeah, you can share it with me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, if there are no more questions, we have
Yes, sir.
Karan's ID on the as displayed on the chat box. I'll request all participants, if any questions or technical queries you have, please post it there, and through Karan's ID, we'll get it at within IEF. And but I would like to bring out here that not all details at this moment would be shared. Whatever is considered relevant to developing a proposal, those will be put out in public domain now. And as we further move along the project, as specific details depending on as per project requirement will be shared with the partner who comes up for signing of D&D contract. So we can expect a few generic details to come out now, so that the proposals can be firmed up, and further more details of the uh, technicalities will be brought out as per the D&D contract.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, can we move for the second problem statement if the nodal officer is
Yes,
present?
I think Group Captain Chaudhary, he is already in the present meeting only. I'll request Chaudhary sir if you could please acknowledge.
Vikram Chaudhary from Air Headquarters.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
Hi.
So we request you to kindly brief about the problem statement so that every innovator know about that what is required, and after that we will have a Q&A session, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So the problem statement this time it is relating to the taxi boats. It's a technology as of now existing. I am not very sure where all in India, but in international levels, there are I think the TLD and some other companies, they have a similar thing close to that. Okay, what we are looking for is that we waste a lot of fuel when we start up the aircraft. We move it to the close to the runway, then take off, and thereafter after landing again, the maneuvering on ground consumes a lot of fuel and the engine life. So, and additional to that is that we have at present, towing tractors available with us. So, as a combined solution to all these problems, what we are looking for is a vehicle which is battery operated and which have the accuracy and capability to tow the aircraft from initially doing the pushback, thereafter taxing it till the holding point, just before the takeoff, before the entering the runway. So, and thereafter it hands over, it is with the pilot, and then pilot lines up, gets departed. After landing again, okay, once you vacate the runway, thereafter this aircraft is with the taxi boat and it gets back to the starting point from where it had started. The additional thing which is there required in the taxi boat is now, as of now, when we taxi, we don't have pilot in, especially in the transport aircraft. The aircraft is towed with a sometime with the towing arm tractor or tow barless tractor. In this case, what we are looking for is that the vehicle is battery operated primarily for the pollution norms and all. And secondly, after the pushback portion is over, the controls are somehow connected through the nose wheel, so that pilot, without starting the engines and all, can have that control of taxiing the aircraft without using the engine power, the APU power, just with the battery, the taxi board which is there. It is kind of semi robotic operation in that. These are the requirements. Other than that, it is a towing tractor only, but it has accuracy and it has pilot control imbibed in this after that pushback. If it is understood, then you can come up with the queries, or if not understood, then I'll try to dwell upon a little more.
Thank you, sir.
हमारे रनवे पे एयरक्राफ्ट को मूव करने के लिए आपको रिक्वायर्ड है, तो इसका तो ट्रायल 2 और 3 वीक्स पहले ही आई थिंक आपके बेस में हो रहा है। एक बैटरी ऑपरेटेड है जो बॉट है छोटा सा, जो कि रिमोटली कंट्रोल्ड है और वो एयरक्राफ्ट को टो कर रहा है विदाउट स्टार्टिंग द इंजन। सो व्हाट
ओके, I'll again clarify. We have, as of now also, हमारे पास टोइंग ट्रैक्टर हैं जिसमें हम जहाज को टो करते हैं। समटाइम रिमोट वाले भी हैं, विदाउट रिमोट वाले भी हैं, जिसमें हम जहाज को अंदर हैंगर के अंदर ले जाना हो, टैक्सी करना हो टू सम एक्सटेंट विद इन द एप्रन एरिया एंड ऑल। व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग फॉर इज जिसमें मिक्स्ड कंट्रोल है। जब एयरक्राफ्ट को हम पुशबैक करा रहे हैं तो पुशबैक इज डन बाय द टैक्सी बोट, उसके अंदर जो ड्राइवर बैठा है, because he has the visibility उसकी पायलट से बहुत ज्यादा होगी, because both sides he can look for more than 120 degrees. Okay, but after the pushback, the power of the taxi boat and is capable of giving power to the taxi boat also, along with that aircraft also. There has to be some communication or connection in such a manner so that pilot sitting in the cockpit should control that. He will be able to control that, so that he is not starting engines now. It is as good as what the feel he is getting is aircraft is taxiing, and this thing continues till the time he enters runway, just before entering the runway. As of now, we are not using towing tractors and other things to get the aircraft onto the runway. Okay, with load or with passengers.
कुछ
Okay. So
Hello.
something clarified something. So
Okay.
you are saying the taxi bot should power the aircraft also, like
Not power the aircraft. What I'm saying, when it is towing, just like a towing tractor, the power of the tractor is sufficient enough to move the aircraft with pilot control, with the pilot controlling that.
So you don't want any power supply to the aircraft?
No. Aircraft doesn't require any power supply from that.
That means सर कोई प्लेन जो है लैंड कर रहा है, ठीक है, लैंड किया रनवे पे, और लैंड करते ही जो पायलट है वो खुद ही उस बोट को रिमोटली अपने हैंगर से मतलब एयरक्राफ्ट से अटैच करने में कैपेबल होंगे और मूव करने में।
आप देखिए, इसमें जैसे पायलट लैंड किया जहाज के साथ,
जी,
जहाज करके वो रनवे से बाहर आए, वो जिनको हम टैक्सी ट्रैक कहते हैं, टैक्सी ट्रैक पे एक ड्राइवर है जो इस टैक्सी बोट में है, उसने आप आके इसको नोज व्हील पे फिक्स कर दिया बाय व्हाटएवर द सिस्टम, द प्रोसीजर व्हिच इज देयर। जो अभी अगर इफ यू टेक देयर आर मेनी प्लेसेस वेयर वी यूज टो बारलेस ट्रैक्टर्स, इफ यू नो, इफ आई मीन यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड ऑफ। ओके, सो टो बारलेस ट्रैक्टर की तरह इसको उन्होंने फिट कर दिया उसमें। उसके बाद कंट्रोल्स जो हैं, जो उस टैक्सी ट्रैक्टर के कंट्रोल्स हैं, they are replicated with the pilot. So pilot sitting in the cockpit now, once the ground guy has fitted this tractor on the nose wheel, it will hand over the controls to the pilot. Thereafter, pilot is controlling, getting it back to the parking bay. Wherever pushback and other things are required, then he hands over control to the ground guy and he will move that.
Okay. Gurukam Chaudhary, I am Erkundo Chaudhary speaking from PI at IIC Bangalore.
Yes,
actually, there is a little confusion in this.
Yes, sir.
What I am getting at, that the pilot control, when he will start controlling this is correct, which you have asked the questions is very clear and very understood. But
Sir.
when it will be transferred to the pilot,
Yes, sir.
nobody will want that anything should be done in the aircraft systems. So you
Yes, sir,
want
nothing.
that should
No,
be
yes,
remotely
definitely.
operated by the pilot. So it can, the ground vehicle can operate remotely,
Yes, sir.
and then it can be operated. So there you want a control, that vehicle control should be there with the pilot. Whether
Yes,
it can be given to the pilot at that moment by
Yes,
the ground team, and then
Yes.
he takes this to wherever you want, at the runway end or wherever. There
Yes.
again, the pilot has to give it back to the control, or you want the control should remain permanently. That a control, you can say as a iPad type of thing or something, should remain with him all the time.
Sir, it is wherever it is primarily what we are looking for is wherever it is forward movement only, the pilot can handle. The controls can remain with the pilot. Wherever the rearward movement is there or the during the maneuver
No,
rearward
that
movement
is
is
understood. That power, everything will come to him, which I am talking to you. Today, the bot which is operated by a ground control, remotely controlled, that can be replicated, that can be given to the pilot.
Yes,
But
sir.
how it will be given to the pilot? Because you see, are you expecting that it will be integrated part of the aircraft? No, it will not be integrated
It
part.
will not be integrated, so there's no
Integrated
modification
part. Then you
required.
want a control should be given to the pilot.
Yes, sir.
That is ground, like what ground control today, any of the robo control, if you look at it, or UAV control, you look at it, there is a ground control system. So
Yes.
that ground control system should go to the pilot, and he can, for a forward movement, for the rear movement, whoever is there, whom you are conceptualizing, or the
Driver, the taxi boat
innovators will
driver.
conceptualize,
Yes.
and that will control the reverse movement.
Yes.
And when forward movement is there, that time pilot starts controlling, that you
Yes,
want.
sir. Yes, sir.
So when he controls, how what is in your mind today, as a user's mind, that will it be a panel, ground control panel will will be given to the pilot, or you want it should remain a part of the cockpit?
It should be something which is remotely connected through NLG.
Yeah,
Where
that
the
is okay.
pilot
Remotely can be connected with that is okay. But who will expect? Who will it be accepted in the cockpit if anybody is giving remotely control some panel to the cockpit?
I'm Kalyan here. Can I interrupt in between, please, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay. See, actually, I've been this product called Taxi Boot is already in use in Delhi by Air India, and there are different technologies are there to pull the aircraft. One is this one, the other one is tow barless tug, and the other one is the latest technology is the wheel tug, which is a part of the
No,
nose wheel.
this one.
Which has been,
See, what I'll
yeah,
request,
we are right
Mr.
now
Kalyan,
talking
since
about
you have
the taxi
interrupted
boot.
in between,
Yeah,
so can you restrict it to bot only?
yeah, that's what
How
I'm
is the
coming
bot
to it. That's what
functioning
I'm
there?
coming to it. That's what I'm coming to it. The taxi boot, when you are connecting and giving to the part of the aircraft, I mean, we need an approval from the manufacturer of the aircraft when any sort of modification is done in the aircraft. So how do you going to deal with it? Suppose if a person is giving a solution that we are designing a taxi boot for you, and how will you give us some sort of a support where we can integrate with the part of the unit in the aircraft? Or you wanted the pilot to have an independent remote control operation whenever the taxi boot, which will be a big challenge because they have to hand it over, and that the aircraft cannot be opened or anything while it is in the taxiing mode before takeoff. So there are certain technical challenges are there for the pilot to hand over back the control to the taxi boot guys. Like, once it has been ready for takeoff, but before the lineup point or a holding point where we call it. So till that point, the taxi boot goes, and then after it gets disabled. Then the driver takes over and comes back. The aircraft is ready for takeoff. Now, giving control to the pilot manually, they have to give it handing over to the pilot by wired. Or you have a wire free in line with the taxi boot. So there may be multiple aircraft flying, and this taxi boot, the wireless cannot be given to that aircraft. The aircraft may not come back to the same station, so it will go to different station. So first of all, when we develop something like this, this is going to be a big challenge because you're going to give some control to the pilot. So, how do you, in what sort of support are you going to give it to us? Like in case if it is possible to integrate with the part of the aircraft unit, or are you particular that we have to hand over some sort of a control to the pilot temporarily till it goes to the takeoff point?
See, the concept which we were trying to study, and there's some information available here and there on the internet also, where the possibility what we are looking for is that the pilot tiller steering commands which are there. Okay, if they can be transferred remotely to the say tug wheels, wireless steering control system, which is there with the pilot. It can be now. See, the option what from the discussion came out is like a tab which is there, or some kind of tiller which is which is not integrated with the aircraft, but it is there in the aircraft for some time. Because we are not looking for any sort of modification in the airplane systems or the body, neither any play around with anything.
Okay, but here there's one more challenge is which we'll be facing even if I give it a wireless also. And there is some sort of a restriction that as per that there may be some disturbance in the navigational equipments after the wireless has been handed over and the tug is moving away and the aircraft is about to take off. That wireless frequency can affect the avionics. So that means more or less when there is a difference, so to my knowledge, only the wired one is approved than the wireless. If it is wired, giving to the pilot and taking from the pilot is going to be a big challenge. So I like to know, we are very clear about the product. We are very clear about the function of taxi boat. But only problem is how you are going to deal with it. Because if you are not going to help us in dealing with that, developing this product doesn't make any sense. So we like to know how far your rule applies here, like, where you will be able to help us in getting the control to the pilot and taking over from the pilot at the holding point, because that is not allowed for a pilot to exit or enter or open the door. It's in the mid of a operational area. So there is a restriction of opening of the aircraft.
No, when we are operating the aircraft, we are talking to the air traffic controller, we are talking to various other agencies, and we have the option of talking to the ground controller also in case, there's somebody on ground. So one frequency, one VHF set on the ground with the taxi boat operator and one with the pilot. They are directly communicating with each other. So it is absolutely on command that I am handing over controls to the pilot, or when the pilot says I'm handing over control to the ground pilot or the taxi boat operator.
No, my question is not that. My question is physically the wired control, how you are going to hand it over to the pilot from the taxi boat to the pilot. That is
Mr.
my question.
Kalyan, you had, when I was discussing, you had brought out this point. You were talking, you had interrupted and talking about this. There are, what he is trying to bring out, that today wireless communication, I'm not talking about communication or voice communication. Wireless communication for a control of aircraft for the support systems are coming up on a runway area. This is not, you see, you must be aware or not. Many places, even UAVs are getting used for many other purposes on the runway area. So those restricted area, when we are talking about that it will interfere with the other communications, that is a challenge, because when we are sitting here, everything would have been available, then this innovations and development would not have been required. So what I was asking, that is clear now, that in a cockpit, a control can be given, remotely operated control, that can be even a part of the cockpit, because in Indian Air Force can be a universal type of thing be adopted. So that is very clear. But your question of that interfering thing, I don't think that in today's world it is of connotation. That is only to be developed where it should not interfere with that. Now, many you are aware that in many countries the communications on mobile also is permitted on the aircraft. So those are the part of innovations. The modalities, I think, has been made very clear. So my question has been cleared, Gurupkan Chaudhary. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So that means wireless is accepted. That's what the question is. Because when we design it, we need that important information whether we need wired, because as per the norms which we were using a tow barless tug, US Air Force or any Air Force people are not authorizing wireless operations of the tug. They are restricting only with the wired one, even though they are technology advanced. So that's the reason I had this doubt. So that's why I clarified it. So now I'm very clear that wireless has also been accepted in our Indian Air Force. Thank you very much, sir. I'm holding back. Thank you.
Copy. And see, our primary requirement is that, there is no modification or any change required in any aircraft system or panel or the structure. So there is no other option as of now working out for this other than the wireless.
So I'm Prithviraj here. Can I?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
So just
Yes,
continuing with that previous, so if a voice control is given to the operator, it is good enough, or should the pilot be in a position to control and maneuver the boat?
Pilot should be in control, and he should be able to maneuver the tractor.
Okay, so he should be in a position to maneuver the boat also.
Absolutely.
Directly by himself, through whatever communication that is possible.
The control thing or the steering control system, what we are providing him in the cockpit, the pilot should be able to control that. Okay, and at least for the forward movement, the rearward movement is for rearward movement, we are handing over controls to the controller or the pilot operator who is there in the taxi boat.
So for what are all the aircrafts this is being planned? Could you please tell us for what are all the aircraft this is
as
being
of
planned?
now, if everything goes the way we are planning, the way we are thinking it should go to for every aircraft. But primarily, initially, when we're thinking of transport aircraft, and when we are flying with passengers and load, okay, the lot of time which is wasted on ground, and so you can say that it is for transport aircraft initially.
Of only the defense stuffs or the commercial flights as well?
We are dealing with only defense stuff. Okay, but in defense stuff, we are catering for passenger carriage also and the load carriage also.
And what is the all-up weight which you're looking forward for this, sir? All-up weight for the aircraft which you need the tug to be designed?
See, if the option is given to me, it should cater from as low as 5 to 7 tons and as high as 65 to 70 tons, or even more than that if it is possible.
Okay, copy. Sir, just for an out of one small question out, just for a knowledge sake, this when you're designing it, this aircraft has the nose wheel always is the suppose an aircraft is about 14 tons, for example,
Okay.
and the nose wheel will be approximately the 5% of the total all up weight, something like that, where the tug has to take say 14 means around 5 tons on that, but the torque should be more. The initial torque for the aircraft should be more for the 14 ton, but the front loading weight of the front nose wheel when it spreads, the weight spreads out. So do you mean to say around 14 ton aircraft will have only 5 tons or 6 tons weight loading requirement?
It's a little tricky question. I can just give you an approximation towards that. You say, for example, you're talking about 14 tons. If I say the load distribution, effectively 6 to 8 tons should be there on the nose wheel, effective load. Hello.
Yes, sir, copying, sir.
Yeah, because generally the CG is ranging in transport aircraft from 25 to 35. Okay, so yeah, with that 6 to 8 tons for a 14 ton should be the range.
Okay. Fine,
But
sir,
I am not
copy.
technically I have not calculated that. I have not thought of it. It's a good question. I'll definitely work on this.
Okay.
But this is my estimation for that.
Okay, so the loading platform should cater to nose wheel either with a single or a double wheel. Am I right? Is that one requirement by you?
Yes. It should cater for single and double both.
Single and double. And my question is that the technology now, so even though it's a little bit out of question, I just want to know why the taxi boot has been a priority in the defense when there is a technology called wheel tuck, when the servo motor is a part of the nose wheel, where the pilot has the control, a part of the equipment, where he can drive under the engine, the AP unit of the aircraft to position the aircraft to the runway. So, is there any specific reason the taxi boot product has been chosen by any reason, sir? So that we will try to work on the designs, because that is more important for us. Since there are some other technology, most advanced technology is there to do the taxiing part of it to save the fuel of the aircraft, sir.
No, the technology you are discussing is what we are asking is the similar thing only that, as of now in Air Force, we don't have this kind of technology where the pilot is controlling the taxi portion without running the engine.
Okay. Now, I mean, there is a one product where, I mean, even though I'm out, I just want to keep you posted. If that is the case, can we look into that product also? Because the wheel tug is the one which is the part of the hub, the motor, part of the nose wheel, which is connected a part of the aircraft itself. There is no external vehicle is required to taxi the aircraft to any position. The advantage is the aircraft becomes independent while it is taking off or landing. Before taxiing, it doesn't need to switch on the engine. They have to use the power to run the hub wheel to position the aircraft to the runway point or a holding point. Then they can start the engine and take off. After landing, they can switch off the engine and switch over to the nose wheel operations. There is a technology is there. Is it allowed that can we explore?
I request if you can send me a mail or some details of the
It is one,
technology.
sir.
I will just go through that
It's
and
called
see where all how it fits into our requirement.
Sir,
Yeah,
Group Captain Kanaver, if I may just add one point. One point has been brought out about wheel tugs, but I just want to confirm from the person who raised this point that does the wheel tug require integration with the aircraft and modification to the aircraft?
Yeah, see that particular equipment has already been approved by FAA for Airbus, so that can be also part of the approval for the
See, Mr. Kalyan, that calls for a certification for each of the aircraft. It doesn't wheel tug cannot be just, you can't connect it and lift it on all the aircrafts independently. So that's why my next question was with the Group Captain Chaudhary. Do you want to your nose wheel should be lifted and put on that, or you want a boat like a towing arm or steering arm which we are connecting to the aircraft, because that becomes independent. So give the room for thinking to the startups here. Don't you make your top level. My request will be, since I'm from the PI partner incubator, so my submission is that as much of technology can be broader, let the people think of that, what they are trying to bring it out to you. And HPSC will decide that who is going to be selected. My submission will be there. Don't restrict the area of mind, means only that tug should be there or this should be there. You have given two points which are very clear.
There should not be any
that should be
restriction.
pilot operated and reverse, since you have given visibility will have a good by the ground crew, so he can do the reverse towing. After that, leave it on to the startup. No, what I am trying to say, leave it on to the startup. You give that what is your requirements. That's why I'm talking to you, submitting to you. Otherwise, it will whether it is a tug or it is a tow. That let that be decided, and then you can accept, Ajay, because you are going to be the user. You are going to be the owner of this thing. So it will be better. Then you decide the technology at that time. Now I think only requirement should be, or clarification should be given to the startup. That is my submission. DIO can and DND can think on that. What I have brought it out here.
Yeah, as far as there is a clarification is regarding the taxi boat. It is not. It is basically a small lift which takes place in the loading of the platform, maybe a few inches from the ground. It captures the nose wheel, and then it lifts up the aircraft a few inches, and then it gets locked. There is a locking system for the nose wheel, and it gets locked so that it doesn't topple or something like that. So there is a extra locking system, and then it raises from the ground, and then it pulls up. There are two systems. The nose wheel becomes free 360 degrees. The other one is the basically when the pilot turns towards the left, the wheel, the tug senses automatically and turns it to the left or right or whatever it is. So the pilot takes over the control till the holding point. So basically speaking, the taxi boot is basically a loading platform, not a pulling platform. Just want to clarify that. It's already in the market. It is in Delhi airport, which is operational.
Corporate, sir, I think our requirement, we have specified that in case a pilot controlled a vehicle which can take us from, starting point till holding point and back from after landing to the dispersal. Okay, and where the control is available with the pilot and there is no modification or any modification in the system panels or the anything which is related to the aircraft. Okay, the whatever options comes from startup, will be deliberated at air headquarters with the DAD, and then the call can be taken which one suits us better.
So, sir, one last question.
Sir, one more question is any ground
Go ahead,
ground handling equipment, there are a lot of rules. So, is there what are all the rules of ground handling equipments applied to this product, sir? Is there any limitations, or till what level this can be exempted or included within the existing GHE rules and regulations?
No, the question is not very clear. I mean, we are not putting any restrictions on that. I mean, a speed less than 30 knots. That is one. Second is now it's controlled by pilot, so it should have that accuracy, whichever is the required for the flight safety.
Sure.
It'll be very difficult to define now that how much leeway in the movement or the existing rules which are there. They are applicable to everything. Even the normal vehicle which is flying on the taxi track and the runway, they have some restrictions.
Exactly.
Similarly,
sure.
yeah,
Because
restrictions will
yeah,
apply.
after leaving the near the runway point, it has to go back to the station. So
Correct.
basically,
It
all
come back
the
to the
ground.
station.
Yeah, so that is that has to be manually controlled. Remote controlled such equipments are not currently allowed in the airport vicinary, right?
That is why there will be a driver on board. There will be a driver on board.
Yeah, that's what Vishwanath. See, basically the taxi boat, how it operates is to give you a short this thing. It is driven by a driver till it gets locked to the aircraft. Till the aircraft is loaded and the front nose wheel is fixed, and the aircraft is towed to a starting position from the parking bay to the taxiing position. The pilot takes over, and then he maneuvers the tug along with the way till releases that, and then the pilot starts his own position on our protocol to start the engine and taxiing and all the things happens like that. That's how it operates, the taxi boat, the way it operates.
Okay. Your voice was cut in between, but I have the major portion I have understood.
So, sir, this is Rohit calling from Rosatech, and we have some specific questions. What's the maximum charge cycle you are looking at? A single charge, what's the maximum operating time it should have?
With a single charge, it should have at least 3 to 4 hours of operation.
Okay. And what is the maximum gradient you are looking to navigate on the runways, or maybe the taxiways?
Gradient will be like what we are looking operating with the aircraft as of now. So,
okay,
nothing specific for this.
Hello, am I audible?
Sir, this is Nagendra Shetty from Ideas Unlimited. What is the top speed of this tug, sir, with the aircraft attached?
On an average, it should be less than 30 knots.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You asking for maximum speed?
Yes, sir. What is the maximum speed of the tug? I mean,
see,
because it has to take the aircraft from the hangar all the way to the runway and back.
Generally, we operate at a very slow speeds only, but the maximum limit will never cross 30 knots. It should be less than 30 only.
Okay, fine. Sir, another question. So the remote control can be in the form of a wireless equipment on board, which is just a dismantleable thing. Just it is not part of the aircraft. It's just a small, tiny remote control, which can be hard powered off on board the aircraft and kept inside when not in use. Is that acceptable?
So, see that we can't be specific just now only, because once we
Okay.
have the options of people who are trying, okay, so whichever works best for us, we'll be okay with that.
Okay, sir. Done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Lokesh from. Hello. Chaudhary sir, this is Lokesh.
Haji, Mr. Lokesh, please.
So basically, I was connected with 5BRD Sulu regarding one of the taxi bots. So we presented in front of CDS and other aspects too. So what we were pitched there was to develop a taxi bot which was taking the aircraft from apron to the soft shell apron where it just charges up the aircraft and goes. So that was a 5-ton class. And now, as I can see in the document which is being posted in IDEX, so there is a requirement put up for 300-ton class.
Yeah,
So
because if I have an
subsequent,
option, I'll go for IL-76 and C-17 class of aircraft also.
right. So when we see about the 300-ton class, the swap size of the equipment, so consecutively it just blooms by, like it's like from a pickup truck to an actual 16 axle truck. So that's what the sizing what I predict from the previous understandings as we collaborated. So the current project, like what we see in the disk 13, is somewhere in the project values about 3 crores, like that's what the maximum funding or something which we get it from the IDEX and as a project cost. So I feel the class of 300-ton what we have posted is somewhere which is not possible in the fund. So are you exactly looking for a 300 class or just like initially with a lower class so that and see a similar thing can be made it in a larger size later on? So that's what I wanted to understand.
Part of it, I think DAD will be in a better position to comment. But the
Okay.
option of, initially trying with the smaller weight categories, say, for example, 20 tons, 30 tons, can be tried upon. And once it is found successful, thereafter we can graduate to further higher categories.
Okay, that's good, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Logesh, I am Group Captain Kanab from DAD. I just
sir.
wanted to clarify the first point which you said. What you said about Sulur, there is one fundamental difference between a tow truck versus a taxi bot. So
Right,
what you
right,
said was apron to apron is essentially a tow tug or a tow bar or a tow bot on these lines, and these come in very lower money segment as compared to a taxi bot. I agree.
right.
But again, we've put out this challenge because we are looking at industry response, and again, if money becomes a factor, then we'll have to take a call later. But then we have to look at multiple proposals which we receive, and within them, where does the solution lie? We'll look at that.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's what
this
I wanted to understand whether the 300-ton class or lower class, what exactly we are looking into. So I got the answer. Thank you for that, sir.
We are essential requirement like Chaudhary sir said, it would be to go for as large size as possible, catering to the wide bodied aircraft like IL and C-17 class. But
Understood.
then, like you are bringing out that the budget is a challenge. So when we get the proposal and when we do the HPSC, the thing can be brought out and it will be kind of resolved at that stage.
Yeah, so basically, I'm Kalyan Ramania from Simgrosis. The tow borderless tug, which is being tested in Sulu, the 60 ton, there is one more make is a 60 ton, which basically costs around not less than 60 lakhs. And the taxi boot is not less than minimum of 30-40 crores because the cost of taxi boot for that level is very high. So Lokesh has got a very valid point because that investing and designing is going to be a big challenge for us. If you have some sort of an indication about what is your the indicative support budget on the project, we can try to work within that for whatever weight the capacity that can be designed for that pricing. I think the costing will be really helpful for us as a investor or as a designer, sir.
So for a clarification, as of now, the proposal has been put out as a disk challenge. So within the disk challenge, the kind of funding available is from DIO maximum of 1.5 CR. and equivalent or higher amount from the startup which goes on to do the D&D. So this is the datum as of now.
Okay, copied, sir.
Hello, sir. This is Swapnil from Cardboard Electric. Am I audible?
Yeah, we are able to read you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask the similar towing robot was displayed at the Swawalamban 2024 event. And I guess a company based out of Bangalore is already working on it. So for this challenge, do you just need the control system part or you need the whole robot design, towing robot design?
We are looking for the complete system as of now.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, so what are the challenges? So what are the shortcomings on the existing products which was showcased on Swawalamban event, which you are looking solution for?
So can you please qualify at what speed can we, in case of taxi, the pilot doesn't have control. The tow tug which was displayed, it is essentially a tow tug. So we don't intend to dwell more on tow tug and shift to concerns only related to taxi bot.
Okay, fine.
Bangalore person is designed as a towerless tug. Actually, it is recently craft also in Sulur. That is basic. That is not just basically.
We intend to re-emphasize we are looking for a taxi bot and not tow bar based solutions. Tow bar is essentially apron to parking space back to apron movement. That is generally done at a very slower velocities. Taxi bot gives control to the pilot. Taxi bot allows us to taxi speeds up to 25 to 30 knots. Taxi bot is a different space and class altogether, different from tow barless tugs or tow bot.
Oh yeah, thank you, sir. I get it.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. Sushil is this side. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
So, what battery technology should we focus on it?
Again, I mean, when the startup comes, whichever is the best suited for the existing norms, whichever is giving us better range, better endurance, less pollution, and cheap price. That
Okay.
that thing is looked for. It will be very difficult to explain. The whatever technology you're providing us.
Yeah.
That time, the whichever options are there, the better one will be taken.
No, there is no any specific criteria like it means that you require a lithium ion or solid state batteries.
Oh no, nothing specific as of now.
Okay, nothing specific.
This is Lotul from Cupac Aerospace. Am I audible?
Yeah, we are able to read you. Bit intermittent
sir.
sometimes.
Okay, sir. So, can you specify?
Sorry, it was not very clear.
Actually, can you specify the operating temperature for this? Whether it is going to be used at and at what temperatures?
Again, the option is like we in a country like India, we have all kind of weather. So given an option, I would like to use it, and I would prefer equipment which is worthy of being operated at a place like Leh and at the same time Jamnagar or a place like Port Blair.
So it will be also used on advanced landing grounds, right? ALGs.
An option, and if it's feasible, we would definitely love to use it on advanced landing grounds also.
Okay, sir. And is the approximate value on wheel diameter?
Wheel diameter will vary now from aircraft to aircraft.
Yeah, that is understandable. But if you could share us some approximate details, it will be helpful for us to we can propose.
Then I will request if you can just forward a mail to us. We'll see the general diameter of all types, and give you an average of that.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
May I know at what frequency communication is being done between the pilot and the ground staff?
Say again, sorry.
May I know at what frequency the communication is being done between the pilot and the ground staff?
That frequency can be decided at that point of time. I mean, it can be any frequency, which is at that time not being utilized anywhere else.
Okay.
It is difficult to decide now only what frequency we are using.
And sir, it can be a bot and a truck also, na?
It'll be
Both are
see it'll be some VHF frequency expected is where boat can communicate with the aircraft.
no, sir. I'm asking that the solution can be both boat and a truck also, na? Or you are looking only for truck for towing the aircraft?
We are looking for a vehicle. So you call it
Any
truck, you call it boat and all. What we have asked you is that, our requirements are, whatever requirement we have already, covered. If those requirements are met, the type of vehicle and other things are not the primary requisites.
Okay, sir. And one thing, sir, this year for moving the aircraft, we have to use only towing system, or we can lift the nose of the nose wheel of the aircraft and and can be put on the truck also.
See, that depends on you. What is the best way you can provide us the solution for our problem?
All right. Okay. Okay. And sir, carrying any kind of battery drive cell in the cockpit while flying is feasible or not?
There are many types
And
of batteries which are carried in the aircraft. When you travel, I'm sure you must be carrying your mobile with the battery. There are many equipment which you utilize battery. So till the time it's falling within that category of or the harmless category within the safety standards, it is okay. We are utilizing many equipments. We use it in aircraft only. We use iPads also. So those things are there which can be utilized.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, sir, one more thing. Uh, in order to developing this bot, can we have some details of the existing bot you are using, if required?
Please say again.
In order to design and develop this towing truck, can we have some data, if required, data of the truck you are using already?
Again, you can write to us. So whatever we have and whatever we can share, we'll share that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions from the participants?
Just one question I posted in the chat box. So queries, whatever we are submitting, when can we expect
We
the
will
response for them?
we will directly forward to the DAD, and once we receive the just like solution from them, we will send it as soon as possible to you.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Sir, any approximate price target you have, like 100,000, some range, some indication on the expected price range of the total product at the end?
Price range in what?
Price range of the final product.
Price range of the final.
Of the taxi board.
Look, price range of the final product will be considered under the SPARK grant and matching contribution that
No, not
being
from
provided.
that aspect I am talking. From the design standpoint, no, we should have a target price for the end product,
That
manufacturing
will
cost.
be decided. That will be decided after the HPSCs and who is going to win the challenge. It will be decided with the winner only.
Okay, not.
Yeah. Any other questions? Wing Commander Chaudhary, sir. So we have some queries from the innovators that we received. So one of the query is class of the aircraft that taxi boat gonna be used. Is there any class, sir?
Karan, sir, I would request Karan, sir, if you can just forward to DAD. I will get in touch with Chaudhary, sir, and we can submit a reply to you.
Done, sir. Done. We will do that, sir.
Chaudhary, sir, sorry, you can continue.
No problem. I was talking about that only. It is okay. We will work on that.
Should I sir, share the queries or should I directly drop an email, sir?
You can drop the email to me. I will, between me and Chaudhary, sir, we will work out a reply and send it to you.
Done, sir. Done. I will compile all the queries and will share to you, sir.
Yes, please do that.
Sir, could you share us the email IDs to which we have tried, please?
Sir, I have already shared it on chat box.
Yes. Email ID is in the chat box. Everybody can please note and send queries on this ID.
I think so. We should conclude the session. Thank you, Wing Commander Kanav sir and Group Captain Thakur sir and Group Wing Commander Chaudhary sir for delivering the problem statement to the innovators. I hope we will receive number of solutions for the particular problem statement, sir.
Sir? During submission of application, it is asked for a spark amount of spark grant.
Yes,
so
sir.
it is tough to mention that while submitting the proposal, because in order to development we cannot predict the actual
So
amount.
for these kind of queries, I'm also dropping my numbers, so you can directly contact me.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. DAD is logging off.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, logging.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've seen him working.